No, I haven't had an accident. Just give me a second. How's it going? Now I can take this off. Now that I'm all set up. Um, it's hot. Uh, hey, everybody. Many of you don't know, and many of you do, that I've had a couple, three experiences with ending up in the ditch, and I've had whiplash more than once. So when my neck starts to act up, I can wear that. But I don't know if it's a fibromyalgia. Please excuse me. I suffered some heat stroke yesterday. Not as bad as I have in the past because I stayed really hydrated, but I lost a lot of, natural salt. We're about to get a storm, so my computer may turn off, but this will keep running. Um, I'll say hi to everybody in a second. It's right at the base of my skull. Right at the base of my skull. Anyway, yesterday I overheated, even though I was in the shade and I drank a half a gallon of water easy in 5 hours, probably more. Um, and I don't know if it's fibro or because I slept so hard last night. When you're not used to sleeping more than a couple of hours at a time and you sleep like 6 hours hard, like you don't move. That could be my past whiplash coming back to visit me, and it could be my past whiplash coming back to visit me from fibromyalgia. Who knows? Excuse me. Hang on a second. Let me say hi. Oh, my neck doesn't let me doing this. Hey, Angela, Ann Lewis, Seashell Surf, Janet Fitton, Jean Phillips, Malka, hi darling, Sherry Leach, Old Farmer's Wife, Chaos. How's it going, everybody? So, anyway, the yard sale was a roaring success. Maybe not so for everybody, but I'll tell you something. I'm worried about my weight. Clothing I bought last year are too big. This year, I'm skin and bones. Yeah, check with your doctor. You know what? I doubt it, Malka. I honestly think it's just you're not looking after yourself as you should. You're looking after your cats more than you're looking after yourself. You feel me? So don't go right from I've lost weight, I have cancer. That's asking the universe. That's inviting fate. That's inviting shit. Don't be doing that. Okay, so before we go, oh my god, I forgot I have Kool-Aid. It's been sitting here for like I don't know since we went to the factory outlet. Today though, I am drinking Calypso Taste of the Islands Triple Melon Lemonade, man. Um, so let me just. You know what? I'm not going to try and burn that. I'm just going to burn a piece of sage. Let's. I'm sorry if you hear fans going everywhere. We're like waiting for a thunderstorm. It's been spitting, but. Smoke of the sacred white sage. Hear our prayers, take them aloft, carry them aloft with love and intention to the Creator. May we all be open to love, understanding, patience, tolerance, and push back at the negativity. Okay. Ah. Oh, you have the worst heat rash, eh? I have one going in the window and one going on the floor over there, with my curtain just pinched at the bottom to let it in. Rain! Come on, baby. We did not get the pool liner in, and we didn't get the boxes filled. Mel came down. Our daughter-in-law came down sick, and she didn't want to bring it. So I said, "That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Look after yourself. And then Briar's like, well, why am I taking a day off if, and making my boss who's pregnant work a 13-hour shift in my place if I'm available? So the kids, we didn't, but we had Briar here Friday night, or Thursday night. So, hey, Raph, how's it going? I didn't get to come to your table after once things started. Um, I'm not going to buy any clothes because next year it'll be the same story. I'm fed up with cats that would rather live outside. I don't need ticks, worms, because Ricky is long haired. You do what you have to do, Malka, to make your life more comfortable and safer and healthier for you. Okay? God appreciates that you're looking after feral cats. Okay? But it's not to be done at the expense of your own health. Do you understand? Hey, Pam, how's it going? And Jean, Raph, my love. So, yesterday I was at the yard sale and gone in less than 5 hours. Done. Sold everything. I am not the type of person who's going to argue with somebody when they think something's too expensive. I'm at a yard sale to sell this stuff. Not for the money, but for the freedom from it. You feel me? About coming to the table, that is why I was sending Ron to check up on you. God love you. And he did. He came and checked up on me a couple of times, made sure I wasn't overheating. I love you, Ron. Thank you, sweetheart. Thanks, Bev. I'm in a mood today. Glad you sold your items. The money helps. Well, it's not so much the money either. Like, yeah, I made back what I paid for the tables, and the money that you rent for the tables, I thought was kind of cheap, actually. They should have went $20 a table. But that money was completely because our local arena is community supported. It's community funded. So this yard sale was all about putting, money into our community center or into our arena. But the thing is once I started decluttering and going through stuff, you'll get a video on our half-acre homestead tomorrow. Hey, Seashell, aloha, darling. Hi, Atta girl. Lisa, how's it going? In Hope, Britain. It's good to see you all. Absolutely, Malka. Absolutely. And I'm not taking flack from anybody anymore about stuff that got left in my house or given to me without me, without asking me if I needed it. All these things and tokens, like, I remember the platter and the chicken dish and the rooster salt and pepper shakers I got at the Cracker Barrel when we went to Florida. That's the first thing that sold. Boom. I took an offer and it went. See, my tagline yesterday was, hey, if you don't like the prices you see, then make me an offer because I'm not taking this stuff home. Right? Hey, Ninja, Laura Higgins, Urban. It's good to see you. Here comes the thunder. We are resting today. This heat wave had us for yeah, I know. And I got a touch of heat stroke. I don't know if you read it in the description box, but I'll tell you something. I was wearing black, sitting under the awning. There was barely any breeze. And I probably drank close to a gallon of water in 5 hours. So I was flushing salts and minerals right out of my system, right? So I came home feeling, I came home, I had a cold shower. And then when I went to bed, I died. I'm telling you, hey! Okay, Fokker, it's Paula, right? Did I get it right? Or Julia? It's one or the other. So when I went to bed, I came home. I hadn't eaten all day. I'd had a quart of iced tea and then water, 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 water. That was it. Water, 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 water. And then I came home. I had a shower. I heated leftover spaghetti for Howie and I was in bed by 8 o'clock. My pool probably won't be opening until next weekend. Um, but I staved off the worst of heat stroke. When heat stroke really gets, it's like having the worst stomach flu on top of fogginess, dizziness, and not being off balance. All I've got is the fogginess, the dizziness, and being off balance. So if I hum and haw a lot today, it's because I've got a bit of heat stroke going on. I recognize it. Thank God it's not worse, right? So I slept so hard. Like most of you know, I only get about 4 hours sleep a night. I do 2 or 3 hours, and then I do 2 or 3 hours when Howie gets, goes to work. And hi, Jill. How are you? Grimpy Campy. Hey, Pam Robinson, EJ, Liz, Prof. It's so good to see everybody today. So, what's at a yard sale is for sale. It's not to take back home. Thank you. Well, the only thing I had left at the end was some cookie jars and some knickknacks. And one Rubbermaid bin of movies, and I sold twice that. I sold probably 50 or 50 movies easy. And then at the end, my friend Melanie from up the line came up and said, my mom would like this stuff. I said, take it all. Everything on the table. You want it? Take it. $10. Take it. And the kids their daughter was looking at the movies. I said, take the movies. Rubbermaid bin and all, $5. And it was gone. All I had left was a box of books, which we donated to the library. And it was like not just decluttering, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually unloading shit that I've been hanging on to for a long time that didn't belong to me mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. You understand? Hey, Kim, how's it going? Nani. So, that's really good. Just enough tart to make your saliva glands go zing. So, I'm looking for a fan here, guys. Give me a second. There it is. So we made enough to pay for the tables in support of the arena. I remade my float back because you can't go to a yard sale without some fives and toonies and loonies, right? And some quarters. So I made my $40 float back. I made the tables back and enough money for Howie and I to have a little jingle jangle in our pockets so we could breathe this week. All good. It's all good. I actually went to I'm suffering a little bit of heat stroke, Kim, from yesterday. Like I've had it a couple of times in my life, and so I have to really be careful. I have to be really careful. So here comes the rain. Yeah, baby. So I slept. When I conked out for 6 hours. Now, I don't know if that's why my neck is stiff or my neck is stiff because I'm having a fibro flare. I can't tell the difference because I'm foggy anyway. But then I got up at like 5 in the morning and I toasted a bagel. I made myself a cup of tea. I took it back to bed. I ate a bagel and drank a cup of tea, and I conked out for 5 more hours. Hey, Corinna, Corey. Hi, Corey. How's it going, sweetheart? So, yeah, that was yesterday. And so today, I woke up at 10 o'clock. And I phoned Howie because he was sleeping in the coach because it's air conditioned. And I said, do you feel like taking me to the grocery store because I want some fruit? I'll eat bananas if there's nothing else, but I'm a juicy fruit girl. I like grapes and watermelon. Wintertime it's apples, but in the spring, summer, and fall, it's grapes. It's watermelons. It's any kind of like clementine or oranges. You know what I mean? Oranges and apples are more winter fruit for me. I have no idea what the temperature was yesterday, but I know I sweated out. Like Aunt Josie would say, horses sweat, men perspire, and ladies glisten. Well, I glistened my face off yesterday. It's burnt. It feels sunburnt from that. Strawberries, exactly. Hi, Danny. That's funny that your neck is stiff, and Ron and I are both stiff at the neck level as well on the right side. Yeah, I think maybe it's from looking up all day at people, but we're also happy that you did not sell Gracie. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? She wouldn't. She. Please. So this morning, I got up, got dressed, and met Howie at the truck because, like I said, he slept in the air conditioning. And he takes Gracie when he sleeps in the coach because I I can't do air conditioning for any length of time, and she only like when it's really really hot, and she sleeps on you, next to you, up against you, pushing you out of bed, and she's hot. So I say, you take Gracie. What was it? No wonder I was dying, Raph. I remember my wedding day. My wedding day, July 31st, 1993, was our actual legal wedding day. And it was 35 degrees in the shade that day. And I had 3 baths from between morning and bed that I remember. Yeah, no wonder I was dying. I could barely breathe. So this morning we went and went to Tim Hortons, got me a tea and a breakfast sandwich. And then I went into the dollar store and I got clothes pegs. My husband and I will be married 41 years, May 23rd. Time goes by, it sure does. My Daisy does the same thing. She bakes me. I know. They're like little, hey, Simply Jessica, they're like little heat-seeking missiles. They find your warmest, hottest spot. The very first night we brought Gracie home, Howie and I were still sharing a bed, a king-size bed. And it was April, and I was already hot. And Gracie, she was this wee, tiny thing. And she got down, she wriggled down in between us, and got down to the top of my butt crack and the small of my back. And she was like a hot brick wrapped in a tea towel. Honest, I said, Howie, get her out from behind my back. Get her out from behind my back. So, I mean, I couldn't, she's hot. Always been hot. Hi, Audrey. Just got home and to my chair garden junk sale this morning, outside furniture and a few odds and ends at the farm store. A couple of other stores, and we are home, tired and hungry. I bet. So I went to the dollar store while Howie went to Tim Hortons, and I got some clothes pegs, and I bought a new pretty. I know I've had this one before, but the other one died, and I wanted a new pretty. And I got clothes pegs, big clothes pegs, because I ordered, somebody corrected, I would call it tulle, but it's toll. It's like wedding veil. I got a deal on, I think it was $25 for 40 yards, and it's 56 inches wide. And I'm going to put my hoops over my cabbages. Here come the rain, baby. Bless our soil. Thank you, God. Oh, Creator, water our gardens. Thank you. So I've got that coming this week sometime, and I got clothes pegs, and I've saved the hoops from my fabric tunnel that used to run along a row. And all I'm going to do is put the hoops, 3 hoops to a bed for my cabbages, and then put the wedding veil stuff over top and clip it with clothes pegs to keep the worms off, or the cabbage moths off. But I'm also going to put the marigolds in there too. Oh, it's been rumbling and everything. So I got my clothes pegs, and then we went to the IGA because I didn't care at this point. I just knew that Giant Tiger may or may not have grapes, but they probably won't have watermelons. So I wanted to go to the IGA, and I got us a rotisserie chicken for supper. And I missed the fact that Briar ended up working an extra long weekend, an extra day this weekend. And he had a rough week, just everybody gets a rough week now and again. So we went out to the IGA, and I put gas in the truck because I had the money from the yard sale. I went and got a rotisserie chicken, some grapes, some watermelon. I got a lemonade, and I got Howie a Dr. Pepper. And a few things for a video this week. And then I said, go to the McDonald's drive-thru. And he goes, why? I said, I'm getting something for Briar. So I phoned Briar, and just to make sure, I said, are you at work? And he goes, yep. I said, okay, later. And I'm sure he was confused. And Howie said, you were on the phone with him. Why don't you ask him what he wants? And I just looked at Howie and said, you never go with us during the week. I know exactly what Briar wants. He wants a junior chicken, a McDouble, a medium vanilla shake, and a large fries. And he goes, a junior McChicken and a McDouble. And he takes the bread out of the center and makes a burger out of the patty, chicken patty, and the lid. He said it's better than a Big Mac. So I forget what he calls it. I think it's called the McGangbang. I'm not sure. Not a very nice name, but hey, Tammy, Andrea, hi, how are you? 88 here. Well, we're just getting rain now, and I made sure when I heard the thunder rumbling that I pushed all my plants out. They're out on the deck now, hardening off. So, but I mean, it was worth it. It was so worth it, because on our way home, we pulled out in front of the store where Briar's working, and I rolled the window down. And he came to the door, and he opened the door, and I held up the shake and the McDonald's bag, and he went, oh, frick yeah, Mom! How did you know? I said, I'm not my baby. So, I mean, it's moments like that, you know. He might be 29 years old, but he's still my baby. Hey, Donna Law, how's it going? Hi, Tammy. So we're gonna have. I've put the rotisserie chicken in the fridge because it was this morning, and I'm just gonna throw it in the oven with some French fries, and I'm gonna heat up a can of green beans or a can of neeps and carrots and mash them, and then that's what we're gonna have for supper. Of course, my babies are always my babies. My babies are always my babies. I tried to get away from okay, I'm your mother, but you're not my baby anymore. And they just totally rejected that. No, you can't say that. You can't say you're 34 and you're 29. No. Why can't we still be your babies if you're still our mother? It's like, no, you're not allowed to desert us as our mother. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's now pouring here. I'm really, really grateful. And it looks like it's not going to last long. But you know what? We need it. We really do. And I got such a big dirt pile in my driveway that when we're done filling the beds, I'm going to tell Howie to get the dirt from around the edges. And then when he's done, if we still have a hill, I'm going to plant my spaghetti squash on it and just let them rip. So, my youngest is 25, still my baby. Yep, absolutely. All right, I'm going to... Ow, excuse me. I have to work my pain here for a second. But I'll tell you what. After meeting and getting to know several people here on YouTube, I've learned something. Getting all this stuff together was really, really hard work. It took Howie 2 hours to get it all loaded. Okay? Like to bring it up from various places in the house. It took me a week to do what he did in 2 hours. Right? But the thing is, if that's how I feel just trying to organize my house at 58, how am I going to feel at 78? And my kids don't want my shit. They don't want, when I die, they're not going to want to declutter. They're going to put everything in a sale anyway, right? Oh no, Malcolm. Andrew, I've already crashed. I think this stiff neck is part of my fibro flare. I love your family ethos. My mom died when I was 32, and I've not seen my dad for 20 years. He was an abuser. Well, then there's a reason you haven't seen him in 20 years. But the truth is, hang on a second. But the truth is, I was hanging on to stuff. And my dad, and I heard him as clear as a bell. I heard him as clear as a bell. It's just stuff. Yeah. You know, if it doesn't have any important, if you have no use for it, or it has no emotional meaning, then it's just stuff. If it has emotional meaning and you don't want to hold on to it anymore, ask somebody else if they want it, right? But it's just stuff. In the end, you can't take it with you. But I'll tell you what I did do is I've gotten my upstairs close to bloody manageable now for dusting and sweeping and vacuuming. I've done yard sales before. I'm 65. It doesn't get any easier. It'll take longer to get things done. Health issues, energy levels. At 55, I knew I had new issues. Hey, Jan W. Absolutely. Absolutely, Malka. Hi, Wit Sally. So, you know, I had a couple of awkward moments. One gentleman came and he bought all the last of my cabbage plants. And then he gave one to this lady. She said, you know, I'd like to just buy one cabbage plant. And he said, tell you what. And he was from Germany. And you could tell, right? And he bought a whole flat of cabbages. There was like 8 of them left. And he said, $5? I said, absolutely. And then he gave this total stranger a cabbage plant. And she said, thank you. And he goes, it's a blessing to give. And it is, right? So he bought 6 of my plates, my last 6 bird plates, and he bought the quilt frame. No, it's not the quilt frame I have in my living room. That's my Grace quilt frame. This was a bigger, heavier, awkward quilt frame that was custom built for a friend of mine years and years and years ago. And he said, would you take $15 for it? And I said, sure. He said, I can't get it in my car. He said, I'm going to go home and bring back my van. And I said, how long are you going to be? And he said, it's 15 minutes there and back. Right? And I said, good, I will hold on to it for you. Well, he never came back. 2 hours later, he never came back. So what I did was there was people set up next to me as we were getting ready. The quilt frame was the only thing. Howie took the box of books over to the library. And he never came back. So I went to the people next to me and said, there's a gentleman coming back. He's German. He's very close cut hair. He's wearing a reddish t-shirt. I said, if he comes for that quilt frame, it's his. She said, did he pay for it? I said, absolutely he did. Absolutely he did. But I couldn't wait any longer. It was 2 hours, right? Not 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So I think he came back for it, though, because when I went up when I went home. Oh, I went up to the store afterwards. Howie took the coach to get some gas and propane in it. And I went up to the Brennan's Hill store because Briar had sold me rolls of change for the yard sale. So I took the change, I took all my stuff back and gave him the change, like sold the change back to him, right? Hey, Aces! I have the family military medals from World War One and World War Two. I've added my own medals to them, but I have nobody to inherit them. Give them, leave them, give them to somebody you care about. Give them to somebody who will appreciate them. Give them to somebody who will tell the story of them. And if they don't know the story, write it down for them. And that way it will be preserved. Okay? I'm willing. But that would be a privilege. Kind of like Aunt Audrey's recipe box, right? Bev, there was a mass shooting in a grocery store yesterday near where I live. Lots of people need our prayers. Where's this, Timothy? Hi, Yoshi. Stephanie. You know, I think people were wondering, you know, people were packing up. It was so hot, and they only had umbrellas. They were packing up and leaving because they weren't selling. Well, I mean, you know, Howie bought a Keurig, but it was $20. I'm sorry, you're going to sell something? Get rid of it. You're doing it to get rid of it, not to make money. Mine, it would have been $5 on it. But he needed a Keurig because the one I got him for Christmas broke down. I'm really pissed about that. Buffalo, really? Oh my God. Absolutely, Timothy. We will. My dad was in the Royal Canadian Air Force, Andrew. I did have fun. It was killing me though, because it was really, really hot, right? It was like 90 degrees. And in May, that's absolutely ridiculous, right? But I forgot what I was going to say. Took the change to Briar, and oh yeah, I took the change to Briar, and on the way back, the quilt frame was gone. So I assume he came and got, those people were still there, and I assume he came and got it. And that was, I didn't like leaving it like that, but I couldn't sit out there one more minute. And once Howie put the awning in and took the coach, forget it, right? So, and another one was I posted some of the stuff on Facebook, so, you know, and somebody local asked about the fireplace. And he said, please call me at this number. So I called him and he said, what do you want for it? And I said, $50 or best offer, right? And he goes, oh, I can do that. And he said, you want me to come and get it right now? I said, I'd appreciate it. You know, we're going to be ending in about 2 hours, right? I said, I'd appreciate it if you'd come and get it. I'll put a sold sticker on it. Hour goes by. Hour and a half goes by. Almost everything's gone, right? And somebody comes up and says, I'll give you $40 for the fireplace. And I said, done. Done, because they didn't show up. That happens. People will phone and say, oh yeah, that's a decent price, and then not show up. I couldn't wait any longer for it, right? But the upsetting part was that he came to my house afterwards. Because I had said, I'll put a sold sticker on it until you get here, right? But I guess he thought that I would put a sold sticker on it and then bring it back home. Because after I got home, I reheated some spaghetti. I had a shower, and I sat down with Howie to watch TV, a movie. We watched The Contractor. It was really good. And he pulled in the driveway. And I come out and said, yeah? And he goes, well, I come for the fireplace. I said, no, you didn't. I sold it. And he went, well, you said you put a sold sticker on it. I said, yeah. I was holding it until you got there. You said you were coming immediately. I waited an hour and a half, and I was getting ready to close, and you never showed. So somebody offered me cash for it. And he goes, all right, I understand. He said, but you did say, you'd hold it for me. I said, but you didn't show up. You know, I wasn't bringing anything home. So that I didn't feel that was a little upsetting for me because he kind of made me feel like I broke my word and I didn't. But I mean, he didn't make me feel that way. I allowed myself to feel that way for a minute. And then I went, no, absolutely not. You know? Ah. And I had one person when I do a family newsletter um, once or twice a month. And I had sent it out that I was doing the yard sale and I was getting rid of most of the cookie jars and yada, yada, yada. And someone who had given me a cookie jar wrote back and said, oh, how you wound me by selling, the one thing from our childhood, blah, 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 blah. And I went, if that's the way you think of me, if you think I would actually do that, no, sorry. And that was like a third strike, you're out. I no longer can handle people throwing their shit in my lap, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I just can't do that anymore, right? So, oh, it's cooling down, but the rain's already stopping. But, the leaves are all wet and the sun is starting to break through the leaves and it's like diamonds. I'd show you, but the screen is dirty. But, so, it is what it is. But I bought one thing. Howie bought one thing. So, and you'll see it in the video tomorrow. You won't see his Keurig. But, well, exactly, Yoshi. I mean, I am not the caretaker of everybody else's stuff, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically, right? When people, this is the problem. This is a problem. Ow. This is a problem we have in society. Okay, now this is what media has done to us. Commercials and mainstream media. Media has spent the last 100 years convincing us that we would have easier, faster, more relaxing lives if we just bought all this crap. Right? Yes, I have a motorhome. That's a moving motel for me because motels are a nightmare for me. And we only use it to go to the track anyway. But I still wouldn't be able to go to the track if I didn't have the motor coach to cool off in, you know what I mean? No, it's not that I let them dictate to me. I gotta run, Bev. Have a blessed day, my friend. You too, Grampy. Mwah! Love you. So when we started attaching more importance to stuff than we did to the feelings that we were searching for that the buying that stuff gave us, we became a problem to ourselves. Right? Have you not noticed the rise in hoarders in the last 20 years? Right? What happens is people start to attach emotional value to things. Oh, this reminds me of when. Okay? No, this isn't a piece of then. It just reminds me of them. We start attaching, attaching feelings to things instead of people. Then we're bound to go wrong. So what happens is you got a house full of stuff. And you're angry at people who want to bring more stuff, right? Or people just dump stuff on you and leave it for you to deal with, right? I don't want to die and have my kids have to deal with too much of my stuff. You know what I mean? So we need to get back to, or at least I am working my way back to attaching emotional attachment where it belongs, to people, to relationships, to God, right? And the first move was starting to declutter. I am no longer honored or honor bound to keep people's stuff alive if it has no meaning to me. That just makes me a caretaker of a a storage unit, right? Makes me a storage unit, and I'm not a storage unit. That's based back when people were property of the factory owner, factory or poorhouse. There's also the fact that a lot of people got trapped into hoarding, not hoarding, but like if you the book I read in my on my reading channel, A Lantern in Her Hand, and by the time her grandson was driving a car, right? Her youngest daughter came to visit her, and every time she'd unwrap a parcel, she'd iron out the brown paper and wrap it up, and she'd take the string off the parcel and put it in the drawer. And her daughter go, "Mom." Or every time she ripped off a calendar piece, those flip calendars where you just rip one off every day. If it wasn't written on, she used it because the back was blank, so she saved it. Newspapers, that's where that kind of behavior started, because the very, very poor who lived through times like in the late 1800s, when so many people went out to pioneer the Dakotas and stuff, they just took any trees, they tore up all the soil, and it created a climate crisis of like a dust bowl. It happened again in the 30s, right? People who have had to do without have a tendency to hang on to things and attach value to them that isn't there for anybody else. Exactly, right? If it really meant that much for them, why didn't they ask you for the cook? Well, that's not the point. The point is that person thought that I was devaluing them by selling the cookie jar they gave me, and that's not true. That cookie jar is in my china cabinet because that has emotional attachment to it. That has memories. It has of a more innocent time in my life. I have very little from my childhood. Why? Because when my mom died, my dad got rid of most everything that reminded him of her. And then we moved a couple of years later, and while the house was being built, he had to store everything, including me, at Aunt Audrey and Uncle Jim's. So he had to minimalize. So we had table, chairs, and beds, and a couple of dressers. That's all we had, right? And I mean, we moved into a house that was bare studs, not bare studs, drywall, unmudded and unpainted drywall, plywood floors, and our cupboards were a set of shelves my dad clapped together. So I lost a lot of physical reminders of my childhood. That's why those things are really important to me. Like I got my Aunt Toots's tea tin. You'll see it. It's a little brass looking thing with a brown lid and teapots all over it. When my aunt passed, my cousin gave that to me, and that means a lot to me. I have my mother's flour tin. It's peeled because I put it through the dishwasher. It's dented, but I have it. Why? Because it was something of my mother's, right? But that's everything else is just stuff, right? Everything else is stuff. I have 5 babies, 34, 49, 53, 57, and 58. Wow. Well, I'm not the keeper of anybody's stuff anymore, except what's important to us. I mean, sure, I got a hand knitted teddy bear up. I'm in a lot of pain. Boy. This. Oh, I'm missing an eye. I have to get him a new thing. This teddy bear, I knitted for Arthur. I knitted one in green for Briar. Okay? This is not just stuff. This is, something to pass on once it's washed and got a new eye and everything to him, right? I have in my china cabinet Briar's teddy bear ended up in a fire pit fire, because cheese and crackers, because Briar was, ADD, HD, and stuff just ended up in places and ditches and God only knows where, right? But so Briar's didn't make it. It got tore apart by animals or something and ended up in the fire pit. So, excuse me. Oh, my neck and my back. I have to shift. Here comes the sun. Doo 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 doo. But in my china cabinet, see, I'm no longer impressed with china cabinets full of matching dishes that no one uses. But you know what is in my china cabinet? A a newborn size baby food jar. That in the lid was put plasticine and a little bunch of, the flowers you buy and you put them on invites and stuff. They're little silk flowers on a wire, with a little bunch of silk flowers on a wire stuck into the plasticine. And then the jar was screwed down over it, and there was a little ribbon tied around the lid. My son made that for me in junior kindergarten. That's not stuff, right? There's a difference. I wish I could knit. I can't knit anymore. My hands won't let me knit anymore. Well, I could, but who has the time, right? Hi, Nina. How are you, darling? So that's what I mean. Somewhere in my life, I started getting attached to things. And I've decluttered. I have certain things that nobody else would understand that I just love. I have a sign. That sign over my door says Beverly's Room. I made that when I was 15. I painted it, hand painted it, and then I varnished it. And that's come with me everywhere. And over the other side of the door is, now I made one for my nephews that said the boys' room. And it had teddy bear and it had a little R2-D2 on it and everything. But my eldest nephew gave me a sign for the other side of my door when he was grown up and became a dad, married and a dad. And it says, next mood swing, 6 minutes. And he still knows me. Those things you just don't part with, right? Because it's a moment that somebody knows you. What? Excuse me. Howard accidentally hit the horn and I had a panic attack. Oh. He accidentally hit the horn. But since his heart attack, I'm like, what if that's a call for help? Right? So I see him. I run to the kitchen and I said, Howard! And he comes out to the window, like where I could see him from the kitchen window. He said, I accidentally hit the horn. I said, well, don't do that. You could have been having a heart attack. half we don't use, sentimental value, or handmade worthwhile keeping. Exactly. Getting rid of everything, including my dad's stuff, says Angela Passmore. I have the memories, and it's all I need. Not even going to keep Nanny's spinning wheel, giving it to my kids. Good for you, Angie. Yeah, I would have wrestled you for that if it was up for option, but again, I don't need it. Right? I moved too fast. So, slow down, you move too fast. Wait a minute. Slow down, you move too fast. Gotta make the moment last. Kicking down the cobblestones. Kicking down and feeling groovy. It's a baby. Hi, baby. Were we worried about Daddy? Oh yes, it's okay. It's okay. She got my attention right off the bat. It's okay, baby. Oh my goodness. You're all right now. I hear me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my spirit to keep. If I die like an old broken old fridge, I get to meet Mommy at the Rainbow Bridge. Amen. Got a kiss for that? A real kiss. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Now watch Mommy's neck. I can't go all the way down to the backs of your legs today because Mommy's neck's too sore, okay? But I love you. I really love you. Is that supposed to be a kiss? Give me a kiss. A proper... Thank you. My goodness. All right, Mommy's shoulder hurts. Here you go, baby. Hang on. Oops. There we go. Ow. Ow. Ooh. So, seeing Grace makes me feel so much. Me too. You know, like when Howie came to bring the quilt frame because we forgot it. When Howie came, Gracie was in the truck with him. And then when he was taking the coach to go, you know, we're leaving the arena and he's taking the coach to go get propane and gas because next weekend's the long weekend and we're going to the track. And I'm glad this wasn't the weather. I'm really glad this wasn't the weather. But you know, took Gracie from the truck, said, come on, get in the coach. Away they went. She said she just loves going for rides, eh? Oh no, not absorbing Junior. I remember one AA meeting Howie and I went to years ago, probably 20 years, close to 20 years ago. And we were sitting so smug, so young, you know, in our 30s, mid to late 30s. And I said, and I just looked around and everybody in the meeting was like 90% of the people had gray hair. And I said to Howie, can you smell the A535? And just then, a guy walked by us, a man and a woman walked by us and sat at a table ahead of us, and all you could smell was like Ben Gay or A535. And we looked at each other, it was like, and we laughed, and I said, you know, we shouldn't laugh. That's going to be us someday. And Howie said, laugh while we can. We're laughing with them because we know it's coming. So, Seychelle, how are you, darling? I know you're very busy at work, but honestly, how are you? Give it a rest for a second and tell us how's things going. Have you been working on your ukulele? All right. I'm going to pull a card. Whoops, don't do that. My little fan. Oh, really? Hey, Mary Cook, how's it going? And yes, strumming my little 4-string ukulele. Oh, that's awesome. You keep doing that. You keep bringing the joy back into your life. Absolutely, Andrew. I think the animal oracle cards are calling you. And normally these just jump right out of my hand, so I guess that's not it. So we'll go back to the soul's journey, because those were the first cards I pulled. Nope. All right. This is for Andrew W. Oh, look at that. One turned over right in the deck. Thinking of you. A loving thought. Serendipity. Andrew, somebody from your past, or maybe near past or long past, somebody's thinking of you, and it's serendipitous. Pay attention to that. I already gave him one. Music is healing. Do you know that the first form of songs were actually prayers, eh? Oh. Well, tomorrow, you're welcome, sweetheart. Somebody that has made you very happy, and it's somebody who's made you very happy in the past, and that you've either forgotten about each other or let go of something in each other, and they're remembering. Does that make sense? They're remembering the what brought you together in the first place. You may want to pay attention to that. Music is universal prayer. That's why there's a lot of songs I stopped singing. There's songs that I really, really enjoyed, and I couldn't figure out why. I was like, go out in the truck and drive and really belt them out. And then I realized those songs were like creepy. And I thought about them and went, oh no, she's talking to the devil. I ain't doing that. Nuh-uh. So you got to be careful, right? It's not like, I'm not talking like Footloose where everybody can't play rock and roll and stuff. But what I'm saying is, when a song grabs you at a visceral level and you're not even listening to the words, you may want to pay attention to the words before you belt them out to the universe. You know what I mean? So let's pull another card. Mowing yard today, fun. Well, this week, Howie and I are going to try and get the pool liner in and fill the beds a couple at a time. So you fill them and then plant them and fill them and plant them. You know what I mean? Come on, guys. Come on. Give us a general card for the group. Okay? Words of wisdom. No? All right. Well, then, you're not talking. Ouch. Let's see what the universe has your back has to say. You got a message for our room today, universe? Just nobody maybe it's me. Maybe it's because I'm so thick-headed today. Whoa, okay, thank you. No, that definitely wasn't the problem. We have 2 messages from the universe today. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. Unfortunately, many of us have answered those calls over and over and over again. I don't know why I'm saying this, but we've answered those calls for help over and over and over again. Why is my thing doing that? And a lot of those cries were cries of wolf. So you have to be able to distinguish an actual cry for help. I mean, I know if they're just because Apologies without change. Words without cohesive action are just manipulations. Right? So pay attention to that. You can, if somebody keeps crying for the same help over and over for the same help, and they are not doing anything of their own to fix their problem, then you get to stop responding because apologies without actions is just manipulation, right? The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. So what's happening is we are seeing a lot of we are all wrapped up in cries for help. But do we really know where these cries are coming from, how often, and how true they are? Listen with your heart, because when you listen with love, the answer is clear, right? Not guilt, love. She kept the gift wrap paper and gift boxes and bags. So anyway, folks, it's time. It's been an hour and I'm already. And tomorrow you'll get to see a little more of what went on at the yard sale. Not much, but I did a video for you and I showed you what I bought. And for all those who care to, please help me close with a prayer to each other and to the world. You connect with your faith. I'll connect with mine. And this way, all of our faiths will be represented in the circle of love. So let us join hearts and join hands and take some deep breaths. Hey God, creator and source of all, including Christ, who you gave to us to teach us the importance of clarity, of love, of truth, of inner healing and ascension. How's it going? Thank you, God, for protecting me from the worst of the heat yesterday. For not having Howie complain about taking the motor coach over to the arena and all that stuff. Everything happened exactly as it was supposed to. So, thank you for that, God. Thank you for making me aware with just dizziness and fogginess that I overdid it yesterday and that I'm going to take it easy for the next day or two. Thank you for all my friends and family who are here. And we come together, we join hearts and hands, and we ask you, God, to fill us with light. Light so brilliant that we have to push it out. And it becomes a lighthouse in the fog for those that are lost in the dark, those that need a way back to the light, where they are safe and protected in your light and in your love. And for all those people, God, that are suffering, tragedies have been happening, illnesses are happening, divisions are happening, addictions, all of these things, God. We lift all those people that are suffering more than most up to you. We lift all the suffering up to you, God. Because we only can do so much. But if we can be a lighthouse for your love, then we will. So thank you, God. We give those people into your keeping to heal, to strengthen, or even just to give them enough to get through to the next day. Thank you, God. Bless all my YouTube friends and family, God. They keep me getting up every day. Amen. Namaste. Shalom. Peace be with you. Merry meet. Miigwech. Blessed be. Walk in the light of God. Peace be with you. Whatever your exchange is. Thanks for staying and adding power to the prayer. Right? Because whenever more than two of us gather, God is there also, right? Take care. God bless. I'll see you guys on Thursday.